Coming soon on the Ground Truth podcast and in partnership with The Atlantic magazine.
We want to keep Hungary a Hungarian country.
This is no longer a democracy, it is a creeping authoritarianism.
Nationalists, extreme rights, verging on fascism.
Across the globe, a series of populist movements are threatening democracy through a rebranding of nationalism.
You know what I am? I'm a nationalist, okay?
These guys are trying to build a transnational movement, and we're seeing the emergence of a similar doctrine and, in some cases, a similar strategy.
This strategy includes a variety of tactics that make up a playbook, a guide for turning democracy against itself, like exploiting religion in India.
Millions of Muslims are on track to become stateless in the northeast, and minorities across India have suffered mob lynchings, voter suppression, and a shrinking voice in the public space.
Weaponizing fear in Brazil.
President Bolsonaro's praise of Brazil's former military regime includes the ruthless torture of dissidents.
Demonizing minorities in Italy.
Matteo Salvini is the leader of the new Identitarian movement in Italy. He said international NGOs were plotting to displace European ethnicity.
Every day Salvini is attacking a new minority.
Dividing and conquering in Poland.
The government in Poland has sparked a nationwide suppression of LGBT rights, calling it the LGBT plague.
Bold and charismatic populist leaders are weaponizing nationalist fervor against perceived enemies, including political opponents, minorities, immigrants, and journalists.
Aren't you concerned, sir, that you are undermining the people's faith in the freedom of the press in this country when you call stories you don't like fake news?
A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are. They are the enemy of the people.
Now, more details about the shooting we mentioned at a newsroom in Annapolis, Maryland.
5 journalists and newspaper employees were gunned down.
It seems no country is immune to this rising tide of authoritarian nationalism.
Jews will not replace us! I think there's blame on both sides. Very fine people on both sides.
These movements are not taking power by force. They are being given power by the popular vote. It sometimes feels that the very fabric of democracy is unraveling.
Democracies are always vulnerable to death from within. If elected leaders are popular enough, or powerful enough, or skillful enough, they can, if they want to, use democratic institutions themselves to dismantle democracy.
This special report, Democracy Undone, kicks off the 7th season of the Ground Truth podcast. In partnership with The Atlantic magazine, we've dispatched reporters to document how 7 leaders in 7 countries, including the United States, seem to be using the same playbook to stoke fear, weaken democracy, and tighten their grip on the reins of power.
Demokracja v rozpadzie.
Democrazia incompleta.
लोकतंत्र के नाश के विधि विधान.
Democracia amenazada.
Democracia desfeita.
Democracy Undone, the Authoritarian's Playbook, on the next Ground Truth podcast.